For a while I've been considering making a packet radio terminal, a self-contained computer with screen, keyboard and the ability to send data using a radio instead of Wi-Fi or cell networks. After working on and developing it for a few months though, I realised that this is actually the wrong way to go about this type of device, and after looking more closely at the Go Tenor mesh, I think creating an open source alternative with more features would be more versatile and an order of magnitude cheaper. I haven't made this yet, and I wanted to ask whether some of you would like to work on this and develop a platform, I guess in a similar vein to the Pirate Box project, but for long distance off-grid communications. It wouldn't replace the internet as a whole, but could cater for low data functions like text messaging. The main idea is to create a little inexpensive device that can easily fit in your pocket or strap on your backpack. It would hook up to your smartphone, tablet or computer over Bluetooth and would require a specifically designed app to work. This way of doing it is much better than having a standalone computer radio terminal, since it saves more space, is way cheaper and works with all your existing devices. The devices can also still use their Wi-Fi and cell service too, since you're not taking up those network interfaces. The app would work just like an ordinary messaging app, but when you press send, it transfers the message to the radio device, then broadcasts it over lower radio frequencies, potentially reaching many kilometers away. The other recipient has a paired device that is turned on and listening for a specific message signature, and when the radio waves reach them, the device alerts the person's phone and they receive the new message. Simple private communications over long distance. The devices could also potentially work as a mesh network too, by relaying and rebroadcasting messages between nodes, potentially allowing for much greater coverage. Outside of the Go Tenor's existing features, I think what would add more usefulness would be the option of solar charging and the ability to work like a power bank and charge other devices through USB. This would make sense if you already strap it to your backpack to increase range and would make it truly off-grid. This technology works best when sending small amounts of data, and when you combine that with potential internet bridges, meaning someone's phone could act like an exit node, you open up the possibility for other uses like broadcasting Bitcoin transactions or setting up a Twitter-like social network. Depending on the amount of nodes, you could potentially post data anonymously. Much like the Go Tenor, this will be useful for times when you can't get any cell or Wi-Fi service. Trekking in the wilderness, travelling abroad, being at festivals or other large gatherings, etc. Also, obviously this could help during times when the power is out, during disasters or other chaotic times, especially if you mix the messaging with GPS tracking. After a lot of research, I think the cheapest and easiest hardware to achieve this is as follows. A Raspberry Pi Zero-W. This would act as the brains of the device. The documentation and the Linux system should make this much easier to work with and develop more features on. It's also got Bluetooth built in for pairing with phones and computers. A LoRa radio chip with antenna. These are pretty cheap and seem relatively simple to work with. The protocol was originally designed for Internet of Things applications, but it would be perfect for this. Some of these chips, coupled with a good antenna, boast maximum ranges of around 30 kilometers. There are some add-ons available specifically for the Raspberry Pi, but I think it may be worth designing one just for this device. You could add an optional GPS chip too, which could be helpful in certain situations. Obviously, you'd have a physical switch so you can turn it off completely when it's not needed. A Lipo battery. For the size of this device, I think we could get maybe 2,000 or 3,000 mAh and many hours of use on one charge. A small solar panel for emergency charging. This could be handy if you're in the wilderness or if the power goes out for whatever reason. If the design is somewhat similar to the Go Tenor, you could attach it to your backpack to both increase range and charge at the same time. A charging board. These PCBs are amazing. Search for DIY power bank PCB on eBay for ones as cheap as $1. They allow you to power the Raspberry Pi, GPS and radio chips, charge the internal Lipo battery through micro USB, also charge the battery through a solar panel, read out the battery level through built-in LEDs, and use the battery as a power bank to charge other devices over USB when needed. The total cost of parts plus a 3D printed case should be around $30 to $35. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm not sure how good it would work, but I want to try it and find out. I know a lot of you are very capable and I think I would need some help on the software side of things, especially the phone and desktop apps that interface with this. What technologies do you think would be best for this project? Also, what should it be called? Obviously, everything that's developed will be open source and available for everyone to make their own versions. I want to make it as easy as possible for someone to buy the parts and make their own if they wish. If we create a platform, then people could make all sorts of devices that would work with this. Let's get something going. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to your feedback.